I went to Puerto Rico for the 2023 Caribbean Herbal Symposium. I got to fly in with my friend Violeta, picked up and ran a car, and then stayed with my aunt and uncle, Titi Nidia and Tio Manuel, in Toa Alta. And my titi made a wonderful fried fish meal with rice and beans my first night there. And then I headed to the mountains. I went to Ajuntas, Puerto Rico to visit Casa Pueblo, and I hope to write something in Planet Detroit about my visit. I went to the plaza in Ajuntas and I met an artesano who does amazing work. And this was one of the beautiful ancestor trees in their plaza. And then I headed to another mountain town for the symposium, Maricao, Puerto Rico, to stay at Hacienda Juanita. Juanita is my other aunt's name, who I miss so much, so it was really special to stay at an hacienda named after her. There were beautiful plants, lush forest area, mountain views, and animals all over the place. And they sure packed a lot of workshops in that weekend. I met so many wonderful people. We talked about Afro-Indigenous plants and their uses. And the main message of the weekend was the importance of seeing each person, plant, and animal as a part of us. We are one and we have to care about each other and the environment. One of the things I loved about being in the mountains was that it was cooler, but also the views were breathtaking. There's nothing that compares to mountain driving in Puerto Rico. Going up and down the mountain roads was slightly scary and dangerous, but the views were amazing. I loved meeting all of the people from all over the United States and other Caribbean islands. There were some that are from Detroit who now call Puerto Rico home. And I cannot thank Adela enough for making sure I got to the symposium so I could go home to Puerto Rico. I wish I could have stayed longer, and I hope to be back again really soon. These were some of the presenters and organizers. This was the cacique, the Taino cacique from Jamaica. Now, these two threw down interpreting in Spanish and English for the attendees. I was so impressed by them. I got to see Tada, who I hadn't seen since they visited Detroit for the Allied Media Conference I think it was 2016. And then I had to make my way back to my aunt's and was able to catch up with my cousin, mi prima Yamari, and my stepmom, Carmen. I headed to my old neighborhood in Bayamon, which is always very difficult for me. I always try to go visit where I grew up and visited for almost 40 years. This will always be Abuela's house, which I hope to buy back one day. We drove to Arroyo, which is where all of my immediate family is from, and my ancestor family are in the cemetery there, including my father. I miss them all very much. Glad I was able to spend a little time with some of the few family members I have left on the island. My cousin Aurora, Titi Nidia, and my stepmom Carmen. They are holding it down in Puerto Rico, and we had a really nice visit in Arroyo. This is Abuela's chair. I used to spin in this chair when I was little, and all my girls, except for the last one, got to sit and spin in this chair. I'm so happy to see that it's still around. And I spent some time with my stepmom in Old San Juan. And, Old San Juan is touristy, but I always enjoy going there and walking the streets. Those blue cobblestones hold history since they were used on Spanish ships as ballast. So it's possible that some of them could have been on some of the ships that brought enslaved people to the island. We love seeing all of the creations by the Puerto Rican artesanos. There were so many pieces that took my breath away. Those are my younger brothers who I have not seen in a very long time, and I need to visit them next. It was nice to catch La Lancha, the ferry across the water to go to Old San Juan. Carmen cooked a delicious meal and gave me all of these beautiful gifts from Puerto Rico. Then I had to say goodbye to my island, which is always hard. I had to have a Malta India on the way out because that's what we always drank when we lived in Puerto Rico. And this was me coming back home to Detroit. And yes, I was late catching my flight. I brought back some good Puerto Rican coffee and a few artisanal pieces representing the Taino people. This symbol is my birth name, and it's the Taino symbol for Mother Goddess and Creator. I was able to bring a few seeds back from the store at Casa Pueblo and from the symposium. This was a wonderful short trip home, and I hope to be back soon. Adios.